I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
We're gonna do it on the show, man.
It's a cool
Because
conversation.
I was talking about airplanes.
Okay. Yeah.
Collisions.
So collisions. So yeah, if you look at the Potomac, I don't know anything about the Philadelphia one. So I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? You said it was dropping 11,000 feet a
Yeah,
second.
they said that it looked like they weren't
Wait a
responding.
minute, that's not even possible. It couldn't be that high.
They're thinking it's something to do with
That's the speed.
reverse.
It doesn't mean that the.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't just a free fall. It seems like that they engaged down, but they said that the tower was trying to contact them and they weren't getting any response. So they think
Oh
that
shit.
everything, they were freaking out with trying to get stuff going and all this kind of
Either
thing.
that or it depressurized and knocked the crew out.
But they weren't high enough.
Oh, okay. It depends on where they started.
So yeah, they weren't at altitude enough for that
Okay.
kind of, because that was his first
I've
thing
seen
he
that,
said too.
yeah.
And he's
I'm
like,
sorry. I watched this whole series on air disasters. I got into it like 4 years ago. It had like 50 of them. So, so there were ones where the crew passed out.
Yeah.
There's like been some terrifying ones where the crew passed out, but some of the passengers were like, hey. Yeah. So anyway, the one over the Potomac, I almost guarantee, well, I don't know. We'll have to see. It could be mechanical. But the American Eagle flight is on approach. Okay. So they're already wheels down like this. Okay. So they're not going to be, you can't look over the dash.
I see. Yeah.
And so the helicopter hits it from underneath. Okay. And so I almost guarantee you, because the helicopter was just doing this routine thing down the Potomac. If you look at the flight path, it's following the river perfectly from north to south. So it's just doing this training run kind of thing. So they get close to National Reagan, and then, on the tower recording, there's like, hey, do you have eyes on this? And the helicopter crew's like, yeah, we got them. Almost guarantee they saw the wrong fucking plane. So, and think about it. Plane's coming down like this. Helicopter, to go forward, you lean in like that.
Yeah.
And so you both have a blind spot. And
okay.
Yeah, almost guarantee that's what it is. Because the helicopter, they said it was like 50 to 100 feet off. That shouldn't matter. So, I mean, you don't put planes that fucking close.
All right.
Ever.
No, that
Doesn't fucking matter. I mean, that's like across the street close.
would also explain why nobody on the side could see it either.
It's possible.
From report too. Well, because if they're headed that way, then
Oh yeah, and the plane would come right down on it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because it's got a 4-man crew
yeah.
with crew chief, and then there's the utility guy, and then there's the commander, and then the pilot. So just 4 eyeballs. You can see a shitload more than the airplane can, especially on approach like that.
But in that one situation in the dark with that sort of
And they were all wearing night vision too, man. So, and I mean, it's like looking through toilet paper tubes.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? We'll find out more when they actually pull the tapes. So, I mean, but yeah, the American Eagle flight should have had a collision detector on it. So now sometimes they turn that off when they get close to approach, because it just pings off the ground and freaks everybody. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, right.
So they might have gotten that warning, and then just hit the button because, we're 200 feet away from the runway.
That's the ground, asshole.
But it does do that, man. So,
That
I
makes
mean,
perfect sense,
I mean, you've played enough flight sim to know that. So,
Fast enough plane.
terrain, pull up.
I never. So I landed successfully, but never within the parameters of the way they told me.
Any flight you can walk away from.
I wouldn't be walking. away
I
from
didn't
it. No. This is so that graceful, rear wheel magnificence that they do. Like we were talking about, I am coming in like a tricycle, like where you can't
you can't do that. Yeah, no.
where I tried to swoop it like a swan at the last minute, like hitting the lake, just whoosh, right, push out the thing.
That's how it looks cool in the movie.
Now, granted, because on the mode I was playing, it granted a lot more hit points
It's not quite so many crit rolls.
Your plane has the extra big shocks.
The biggest.
Yeah, it's got tires instead of swimming pool.
So I'll say this: the passengers might have survived, right? Because of I did slow it down, and I was getting it to the ground, and almost flat on the ground. People could have survived this crash.
Yeah,
In fact, it'd be likely.
probably.
Right.
Yeah. The plane won't be used again, but yeah.
Maybe parts. I don't know. Maybe when they come on through, they're like, this oxygen mask is still good. Throw out the whole thing.
No.
Okay. All right.
It's all 86.
All right.
Down to the last nut and bolt.
All right. Well then,
That's why
things,
you're in
yeah.
a sim, huh? Not trying
I'm
to
not a
get
pilot. Well, look, there is a. I could not get it in me to. There are some things where you see the investment of what it's going to take to get good. To be a real pilot,
Yeah.
it would take. I mean, just in the simulator, the game simulator, it was going to take me a long time just to get to the point where I'd be okay at the game. Let alone actually doing this in real life. And then there's this component to this where I'm not going to do this.
Did you ever?
It's cool, but
Did you
it's
ever
not.
try landing when it gives you like gale force winds or something?
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
In fact, I'd even turn off like the giant floating fake arrows that, you're supposed to like fly through these boxes. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
To
even,
show that you're on the right.
I'm on the right
trajectory,
approach. Yeah, and it was usually because they would say like, okay, enter the pattern. I'm like, what is that? And after a little while, you kind of get the hang of it, and stuff. But yeah, it was never like the thing about like the simulator is it had a pause button. So if shit got fucked up, or if you were doing something wrong, you just hit pause and you look at it a little bit. And then you look at the map. And they were like, "Oh, there's the problem. I've got my flaps down. This is why."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, or if you're a pilot, you have to like do all that shit by reflex, and I am terrible. I'd rather just play Call of Duty.
More or less. Yeah, that same token, because it did have that live weather thing going on. Mm-hmm. One day I took a snowy trip from Colorado Springs to Denver. I would have died.
So you realize Monument Hill is way higher than you thought it was. So
I don't even think I went that way. I think I curved like way.
it's like flying over the prison. You know what I mean? Lyman.
Somewhere in time, I'm like flying over like the Nebraska or Kansas border.
Yeah,
You're like, where's the flag?
I'm like hooking in kind of in a
Slightly
funny way.
smaller circles to the left, and eventually like Denver.
Yeah, and I'm getting on the radio and I'm saying like, listen, like to Vishnu or Buddha or Cthulhu or whoever it is that you need to make peace with, right? I'm gonna try and land this plane. I'm gonna try to. And if you survive, you're a hardy breed. But I would recommend getting that out of your system now.
So what would you do if they also included a screen on your dashboard that showed the people in the back?
Some of them do.
Really? So you
yeah.
could see them screaming and...
I don't know if they still have those anymore, but after 9/11, they had like some of the bigger ones had actually in-cockpit cameras that could see, past the safety door. So
Well, isn't that also the same tool that they'll use to determine? Because ultimately, it's the captain that decides whether or not an unruly ass passenger gets kicked off the plane.
yeah. Well, any of the crew can actually do it. So
Yeah, it's true. But I always see on the videos, they always say the captain has. They're like, well, I don't have to get off. It's like, actually, the captain says you have to go.
you gotta
So
go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. Captain decides whether or not the plane goes. So
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
And so, of course, that person continues to get lippy and claims racism, and then the cops are just like extra delicate. I'm like, no, don't be delicate.
I know you like police.
Beat them like it's.
It's like make me YouTube famous, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
since we are on planes, I have a quick question.
Oh.
Mom wanted to know, since she is going to be using the wheelchair service,
Yeah.
what would you guys usually expect to get as a tip?
Oh, back then, like $5
$5.
What's that now?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mom asked me, and I was like, I don't have a clue, but I know people that work. You know people
$5
that work
was a
in
solid
here.
tip.
$5
$2
was
was
a good
acceptable.
tip. Yeah.
$1 was like, you're old. It's okay.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay. All right. I will pass
$10
on.
is fine.
Pass it on. Cool.
I would say $5 is fine, but 10
Well,
will
this
make
is
someone's
also
day.
Mom. So
10 will
she's
make someone's
probably-
day.
So if I say 10, she's probably going to give him a 20.
Well, does she have luggage?
No.
Well,
She has a backpack.
so she's not going to bring shit?
No, she didn't bring shit when she was out here for a month or however long it was. She brought a backpack that had 2 pairs of jeans and 2 shirts.
That's all I own. Well,
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
I mean, right, guys. Yeah, go ahead and lecture me. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, your shirts don't have holes in them.
It's that one and the Maruchan one, you know. So-
The Martian, well,
No, actually, I do have a solid rotation,
Yeah.
but because there's enough rotation, they don't get destroyed.
yeah, I don't see the holes, and
That's correct.
so, yeah. That'll make Mom happy, actually.
No, she's gonna be pissed because she's like, I don't see you wear jeans anymore. It's like you're not going. I've graduated.
Wait, what do you wear when you leave the house?
Sweatpants.
Gotcha.
Just like one step away from the tracksuit. Yeah.
It is a tracksuit, and I have Adidas Blazers. So thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
He's
he's
one
full
step
on.
away from the onesie tracksuit.
I'll have you know.
One of these tracksuits seems more work, though.
Oh no, it's very mobbish, and
Yeah, but
he's gonna start wearing gold
I
chains.
think if you have to
soon.
go to the bathroom,
Huh?
go to the bathroom. That's a pain in the butt.
I don't know.
If you
I've
had
never
to,
worn one.
if you had to, well, I wore coveralls.
Oh, Dickie. I used to have a pair of
He
Dickies.
said, you don't wear coveralls. Nobody. That's inconvenient.
Well, so what a one-piece tracksuit.
Nobody wears a one-piece tracksuit.
I'm just picking on him, man.
It's right
I'm not taking this
there.
serious.
And I'm saying there's no way you would jump to that because it'd be a pain in the butt to go to the
No,
bathroom.
of course, it's ridiculous.
Well, you
Nobody
get the
wears them.
two-piece one. They're just the same color. So
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Exactly.
then, yeah, 100%, yeah.
no, man, it looks like one. You know?
You look at my, well, I'm finally getting to the last season of Better Call Saul.
Oh,
So he does have the tracksuit.
he does have a tracksuit in that last season. Yeah.
So, you know, birthday. Yeah,
What birthday? What are you talking
I
about?
can get you a tracksuit.
No, I don't want you to choose my tracksuit. It's okay.
You'll
That's,
choose your own
that's
tracksuit.
for me. That's.
Oh, I did watch Hereditary.
Oh, what'd you think?
I was not expecting that. It was actually really entertaining.
I told you.
I did not think
It's
your
fucking
recommendation
unreal.
was
Yeah,
gonna...
it actually has like moments that stick with you. Like Jesus Christ.
Oh, I actually did that when the girl's head
Yeah,
got...
yeah. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what the
Well, I didn't see that.
fuck?
Telling you, man, it's a stroke of genius. I mean,
Have you
it's
seen it? Okay.
It's been a while. So
it is.
And it's got the kid that in the old, they grow up old on the island.
It does. Yeah. And
I didn't think you would. I didn't think you'd like any movie with it just because of that movie.
It's not his fault,
not his
bro.
fault.
That movie is not his fault. It's just, you
we
take
know
the
who,
roles.
you know who's responsible for that movie.
But it was good. I was
It's
like,
creepy as shit.
The Grow Old Island movie.
What's it called too? I can't remember. It's
old age.
Age. The Cove.
or was the aging what they were trying to keep secret, so they didn't call it that, or did they call it like the
so.
island or
Oh,
something?
the official name of the island or
Yeah,
the movie?
Movie.
It was the
The
movie.
movie, I think, is just like old
Yeah, I think you're right.
Was it?
or something with age or something like that.
I thought that's what they were trying to keep a secret.
No, because they were showing it on the commercial.
Yeah,
Well,
they did
okay.
show it on commercials. So
And then I also watched The Comeback.
What is
The Red Sox. I don't know if you've watched it since you have Netflix for your little bit.
No,
You should totally watch. Is it still active?
it's still active.
Watch The Comeback. It's for the Red Sox Yankees 2004.
2004.
oh,
2003, 2004 is what it captures, those 2 years. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
because it's 03, 04, and 07. Yeah.
Like, I did not realize how close the Red Sox were to getting A-Rod. I totally forgot about
They
that.
should have totally.
I didn't.
It got
I
canceled.
know.
MLB canceled it.
Yeah.
So that he could go to the Yankees.
Why? Why did they cancel it?
It breaks it all. Like, so they had A-Rod restructure his deal a bit because it was insanely huge.
Yeah.
And Boston wasn't the money spenders New York was. And so they had him restructure it a little bit so it was going to fit with them. And MLB, the Players Association, said no. There would be no restructuring of money. You owe him that much, so cancel the deal.
Yeah.
And so they had already set up the deal for A-Rod. A-Rod was going to go to Texas for Manny and John Lester, and A-Rod was going to come there, and they were going to trade Nomar to the Cubs or something, or for Magley or Ordonez and somebody else. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember that at all.
What? I guess that's the thing. What would have overshadowed it that year in the news? Now, of course, you're asking me to remember 22-year-old season, but what kind of deal would have been going on so big that would have eclipsed that? That would have been the trade of the.
Oh yeah, and it was all set and like I guess it was like done and like
It was before Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not.
It was before Twitter.
But that being said, that would have been like ESPN was holding court back then. I would have been watching then. In
They
terms
might have.
of-
yeah, I guess they had well not I can't think of what his name is. One of the guys on the Red Sox, Millar. He was like one of the team captains, and they had him on SportsCenter, and they're just like, "Oh, this trade is going down, and all this kind of stuff." And they're like, "So you know, rather have A-Rod or Nomar as your shortstop?" And since he thought the deal was already done, he's like, "Oh, A-Rod all day."
Oh,
And then it got canceled, and it's the clubhouse was just a disaster. Like everybody.
you know what? That's right, because they were not expected to do well that year. That was that group of losers. That was the
Well, that was 2003.
yes.
This is
2000. Yeah, that
04,
was the
okay,
previous
okay,
four.
okay, okay.
This is going into 04, where everyone thought they were going to be right there, and then they had this, and
Right.
they were just like it was crazy.
Which is weird because if you think about it, that is kind of strange. Why they'd want to bust up the squad that finally got it done
Well, they didn't get it done.
They didn't, yeah.
in 03?
No, they lost to the Yankees.
Yeah, they came back and beat him.
Okay, right.
And then
04,
04
07, yeah, and
You know. So they lost to the Yankees. They thought they were going to get A-Rod to push them over,
Right,
because the
okay.
Yankees just got signed Sheffield and
Yep.
someone else that year, and it's just like,
I think they got. Didn't they sign Darryl Strawberry that year?
he didn't make the show.
Yeah, I don't think he made it.
But I remember they needed an extra bat, and I remember being surprised to see him on.
I thought that was a little bit earlier than
I
that.
think so.
Yeah.
But it's close. It's got to be close to around that time period.
No, because Eric Davis and Strawberry were in '89.
Yeah, but this was like they
That's another 14 years.
It's possible.
ball players hang around for a while. I remember him like past
He
his-
wasn't in the series, though.
He wasn't in
He
the
wasn't in the series.
He didn't play at all.
Yeah, he did not.
But I
And
guess
he only played one postseason with the Yankees.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
so 2003 was the Aaron Bleep and Boone
Oh, yeah.
that ended the series. And then they go in to say that during that offseason, right around when the Red Sox were making the deal for A-Rod, Boone tore his leg up playing pickup basketball. So they needed a third baseman, so that's why they went
That's
after
why they
A-Rod.
went after A-Rod.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, I was just like, oh my God, this is nuts. Like, just nuts. And then I don't
And
know.
then you get to the games themselves where
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like and the
They're
absolute
going
verge of
into extra innings, like
Yeah.
it is such a good watch. So
all they're trying to do is not get swept, and then
such a good watch.
All right.
So, and then I don't know if you've seen Pedro Martinez nowadays. He's actually like an MLB commentator and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen him. Yeah.
his head is just like
It's enormous. It's a watermelon.
body is still like he's got a belly, thin arms, And his head's just huge.
Just looks like a grapefruit.
It's
Look, he was.
so
I'm
weird.
sorry. He was weird looking when he was normal.
You put his body. He looked like a normal human being.
He used to
I
look really
guess.
normal. He just no, I've seen him. He's commentated.
I have not seen
is
him as well.
It is. Sorry, Pedro, if you're listening. Your head's
Well, look, if he looks weird, this won't take away from his years and years and years of incredible work. So,
it's just crazy all the details they go into and stuff. Like Pedro was a free agent after they won the series. Like he was doing that in his contract year. They didn't even extend it.
Yeah, they did.
And then they talked about shilling in the bloody sock.
yeah,
The surgery he did was gross, man.
really.
So I guess his tendon was flipping over his ankle every time. And so he couldn't, so he's like, that's why he, like, the first game in that season or that series, he pitched terribly.
Yeah.
Because he kept trying to go through it. And he's just like, yeah, I'm done. And then, like, they won game 4.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, crap, I might pitch. And so the guy is just like, hey, yo, I practiced some stuff on a cadaver. I can just staple your tendon to your leg, to your bone, and it won't flip.
This was a doctor.
Holy
The
Christ.
Okay, this was a doctor. Okay,
The doctor was just like,
It's
he
like
just-
the Bat Boy. You know? It's like, hey, my dad taught me a neat trick. You know?
And so, I mean, this is after game 4. He's like, do it. And so he goes in there, cuts it up, gets right on the tendon, like staple, right into the bone, and just is like, and like 2 days later,
He's pitching a.
I'm just like,
It's just
oh my
awesome.
god, dude. Like,
I heard a story about. I was listening to the Undertaker. Right, he was the man had an incredibly long tenure in wrestling, and he was talking about the different injuries that he'd had, and one of the things he was talking about was his right shoulder, and essentially. Think about every bit of connect. So there is supposed to be connective stuff over the whole thing in every part. So he'd torn like every last like bit of this, and I can't. They showed the last incident where he's just like, I couldn't lift it. He did something completely wrong with like a 300-pound man on his back. They showed like the match and. He still managed to do something with it and then use the other arm to complete it. But like afterwards, he had to find like this experimental surgeon. And the whole thing was they opened him up and looked for anything that they could use to connect from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, this shouldn't work. We found something. And the fact that you can move this arm at all means there's something else there. We don't know what it is.
We don't want to fuck with it.
It's like,
yeah.
but give me a shot at this. And they managed to get his shoulder working. I'm like, this is unreal. And yeah, just injuries like that, things like you're talking about. It's just that same thing, like stapling the tendon
to your, like, oh, Jesus.
There's a part of me that says, you know, I could be convinced if they said like certain things where like there are things within the body that are inefficient, right? I'm not talking about, you know, there's a lot of things that are supposed to be that way. Like the shoulder in particular has a lot of crap going on that either if it was a little bit different or a little bit better would work out in a lot of ways, right? So if they went in there and they told me, they said, hey, Jeffrey, this is like this click thing that you've had for years. Go in here. We'll staple it. You'll never hear it click again.
We'll just cut it.
Sure.
Whatever. It's just blowing out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Go in there. Yeah, just do whatever it is. Just clean it up, whatever it is. And I'd be like, hey, no problem. They said, we got to staple this in place. But I also wouldn't be, I got to play tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, I guess Francona was just like, Schilling came in and talked to him. And he's like, you're going to do what?
Yeah. What else are you going to say?
Wait, what? Like, dude, your life, like, what?
Hey, man, to this, I'll also give it this credit. Like,
Wait, didn't you get mad at Ronnie Lott for cutting off his pinky?
you don't get that back. You're thinking of lizards.
Yeah.
He had the choice.
Little T-Rex arthur.
He had the choice to reattach the finger, have the finger, right? Not cut it off, lose it forever.
Okay, all right, fair.
Right. Right. That's that's insanity.
Okay. I was like, are you just mad because Ronnie Lott's not a Red Sox?
Dude, well, there's other ones in there. There are some crazy dudes out there that who was it? It was Munoz, where it's like that ankle's broken. It's like tape it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
My understanding is a broken ankle is one of the most painful things that you will ever encounter. Like there are
You mean especially since you're 300 pounds and pushing other people?
Oh, yeah.
in the
not
Super
just
Bowl,
in the
right?
Super
Yes,
Bowl.
yeah. I'm
Like,
sorry. Yes,
Walking.
yes. And my understanding is that just walking on it, like, I gotta tell you what I think my least favorite. I don't like watching people get injured just in general, right? I'll watch them get killed, but I don't like watching them get injured. No, this is different, man. This is different. Like,
I'm not seeing the line
fine,
here.
we'll come back to
okay.
it. But I do not like watching basketball injuries. Those are probably my least favorite. Whenever I see somebody come down off a jump onto somebody's foot or something, and you're going to see that ankle or
Go
that
completely sideways and then they spring up.
that I don't like.
Okay.
That I don't like. I have a thing. So there's a category. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but there's a category of film out there. It's called body horror, where the whole thing is that you're undergoing essentially permanent disfigurement, mutation, whatever that may be, and that's actually more disturbing than the permanence of death.
I've watched teeth get pulled out of my kids.
No, he's talking about like fucking movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude's dead. There's no. I mean, there's nothing that you can say. Like, it's over, right? But if you're talking about like the famous one that I always go back to is there was this journalist who a chimpanzee like really fucked.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
That is the most horrifying thing.
It like
That's
ate
when I
half the
realized
face
it-
off and shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, for a long time I thought, well, I could take a chimpanzee. You know, all I need is a rock. You know? And the answer to that is no. It'll rip your face and your nuts off.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they're bad.
The strength to their size is
They are 8 times stronger than any human. So, and they're way smaller. So
and faster.
It is crazy.
Yes.
they
yes.
cannot swim though. So if you get chased by chimps, run to the water. Hopefully, it's not crocodiles.
Fair enough.
You take your chances.
I would still, if you put up a chimpanzee against a silverback, I'm still taking the silverback.
It would rip it in half. Which means it'd rip 2 of you in half. You know?
I think they said the average silverback can bench press 600 pounds. Average.
I bet you it's more than that.
Well, they said average.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't
Why do
trained.
they have them like?
Well, I mean, there's some kind of
Based on
commensurate,
other things.
some
yeah.
kind of commensurate, like strength measurement. But again, it's
Lifting a car.
well, again, you have to get the silverback till it's like, oh, we're gonna put more plates on, man. It's like, you know, but that's and
Or
that
they're in like the Superman machine where they're like pushing.
exactly, yeah. Because I think that's it. I think that's where they do math on like per feats that they can do, something that would measure like that kind of thing. Yeah, and it may be more. You're right. It would not surprise me.
idea.
These things are
Especially if it's angry.
You're gonna die. Yeah, you're gonna die.
and they'll bite you too. So will chimpanzees.
Yeah, but
Chimpanzees
I feel like silverbacks stay away from people. So they're like chimpanzees and people. They come into contact all the time. So silverbacks stay away.
And my understanding is chimpanzees are generally like 99% like curious and like loving, but it doesn't mean
They will attack you for food. So if you're by yourself. So,
That's true.
Yeah, they will.
Attack you as to eat you or because you have food?
They will predate upon you, yes.
No, I got roped into, for the program I was telling you about, watching a film, an Oscar-nominated film. There's another movie that I think I have to watch, but it was nominated for like 8 things. It's called Enola.
I don't know.
Pure Oscar based.
Heard of it
Yes.
at some point.
Yes, it is. It is about.
It is about that time too, huh?
Yes, I am going.
Oh, that's still a thing?
They have it.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah, they still have it.
okay.
While I have Netflix, I think I'm obligated to watch that 13 nominated embarrassment, called what is it? The one about the cartel member that transitions to a woman, ergo is absolved of all
Cartel
of,
mess?
yes,
That fixes that?
yes, it does,
Huh.
and it's a musical.
Oh,
The kids
13
other ways to like torture yourself, man.
13 Oscar nominations, including
is that this year?
yes, including Best Actress,
Who is it?
a trans man.
Oh, that's putting up for best actress.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
This is as political nomination as I've seen. I've heard it's awful. I have to judge from my own eyes, but I did watch a.
I'm good. I'm all right.
Yes, but it's a Frenchman directing basically like a Spanish musical.
I don't think. I mean, there's got to be an amount of money that you could pay me to watch
Yeah.
it, but
More like what I wouldn't do. Like I'd much rather go to the dentist than watch that.
ooh,
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I would do before I did that.
well, I have jury duty.
I would do George jury. Watch that, yeah. Didn't you got too for that?
Jury duty?
Yeah.
I've gone, but they never.
Oh, I thought you got caught recently, but I guess that was you.
I saw
Okay,
the-
all
That
right.
was all him. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this is
haven't
the
been
first
caught.
time I've ever. I got one summons once when I was in college, but I was
Oh.
up with theirs.
You-
I think that
Yeah.
was because
I don't even know what I do. So you just show up.
Yeah, you just show up and
Hang
you
out
sit
in
in a
the room.
room, bring your phone, something to do. So, and then you get a number in the beginning, and low one numbers don't mean anything. So,
Random.
well, actually, no, it's on your sheet what your number is.
Oh,
when you
So,
call in,
yeah, because you got to call in like the day
The day
before to
before.
see, if you're, or you can just get online and look at it. And then when you go in, you fill out a little form. It's like a jury questionnaire. And then that goes into you give that into the lady at the window. And then they call, like, depending on how many trials they have, they call like 30 or 40 people for each courtroom. And you go file in the courtroom if you get picked. So, and then if you get picked, then you're in for a longer day. Okay. Because if you don't get picked, you're out of there by usually like 10.
yeah,
So, yeah. Otherwise, you get to go in the courtroom. You actually get to learn a little bit about the case, which is interesting. So, but then they go through voir dire where they ask, they'll seat 12 people. The first 12 people there, they'll go grab a seat. They'll ask them all questions. Both sides will kick people off, and then they'll fight over the remaining seats until they either A, are happy, at which point in time, if you don't get picked, you get to go home. So, and if you do get picked, you get to like look at rape photos, I guess, or whatever it is.
it could be something stupid.
It could be something
it's just-
stupid, too.
It's just
So yeah, I have never been seated on jury. I get called for jury duty about every 4 to 5 years.
damn.
Well, it's because I vote and I pay my taxes, and when they call me, I go.
Well, I vote and pay my tax.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
better
usually
pay your
vote.
taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, I already told my boss, and I was like, "Do I need to request a day off?" He's like, "No, just
Yeah.
tell us when you're leaving, and
Yeah.
if you get back."
No, and I mean they'll pay you.
Yeah.
So it's not much, but the other thing about it is it's like if you've never done it before, it's kind of neat. So
yeah.
yeah.
Alright.
So, but yeah, bring your phone. Something to do.
Yeah.
So,
I've never gotten past it. I've gone like 4 times too. I've never gotten past just sitting in the room. So
yeah, I've gotten in the jury room twice. I got on a jury once. I got booted off because my wife's a lawyer.
Do you answer your questions in the way that you've answered questions for this show?
Like what?
what do you mean?
Like your Twitter.
what are you talking about?
Well, I don't think you've ever been asked questions.
I filled out the little questionnaire. That's it.
Yeah,
but that's such general shit. I can't.
Oh yeah,
remember.
it's like, are you free for the next 3 days?
Yeah. I've never been asked anything about.
All right.
If I have my kids, can I say no?
Huh?
From free.
I don't think so, because then like
Having kids doesn't excuse.
it doesn't excuse you because they have a daycare there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
My kids are in school.
right. Yeah. So no, it doesn't excuse you, just because you have kids.
Okay.
And if you do have kids, then what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we're going to put you back in the pool and you're going to get called in 3 months. And when you get called that time, you better have your kids sorted out. So, same thing. Like I got one once and I was fucking deadly sick. So, and I was like, I'm sick. And they're like, oh, that's fine. So, we'll see you in 3 months. And sure as shit, they sent me another notice and I had to go to that one. So,
All right. Well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Well, so statistically speaking, give them a call. They're probably not going to call your number, but
probably not.
then statistically, you're going to sit in the room and you're going to leave.
Yep.
And then if you defy all statistics, then go mix it up and have fun.
Yeah, you might find something interesting.
Yeah.
The trick is if you're getting called on Monday.
That is mine.
Most people on Monday get pulled. So, because that's when most trials start, Monday. So, yeah.
But then again, they also have ones where like they're about to like pull shit and they're like, hey, they plead.
Yeah, exactly. They'll show up that day and they'll be like, oh, no, they plead it out. And so, like, I was in one room once where we were all seated and stuff, and then they weren't asking anybody any questions. So it was a nice courtroom, too. I was like, this is going to be cool, kind of thing. And then they were like, oh, yeah, well, like, thank you for your afternoon. Your jury's released. We were like, oh.
Because there was a time where I was getting called and I wanted to do it. I mean, it was kind of like a halfway. It's like, it's a procedure. It's like I'd like to be able to tell people about it. And there was a time in my life where, I did have a little bit more extra time where it's not, I wouldn't have seen it as an inconvenience. I would have seen it as dude, at that point, I'm like, if this gets me out of a few days' work, I don't give a fuck. It's not
it's totally great.
Not gonna hurt my feelings at all.
Last time I got called, I got totally out of all my classes that day. So I was like, guess what? I got a real excuse.
Check this shit out.
Check this shit out. Yeah, there's not a wreck. There's not a quote wreck on the interstate today. Yeah,
Yeah, but frankly, the only like difficult thing for me was finding parking.
Yeah, they got a parking garage now.
Oh, they do, don't they? Yeah.
Well, so the last time I went there, I parked in the metered parking next to, like, if you go down the hill a little bit, because it's right next where the theater is down there.
Kimball?
No, the auditorium theater.
Oh yeah, the Pikes Peak Center.
Pikes Peak Center. Thank you. Yeah, it's right next to that, and so there is a shitload of parking behind it, but it's metered. So and then
I think it says on there where
the last time I actually read the thing,
and
then it says park in the garage, and that was way easier. So
the garage was not there when I was.
Yeah, or I don't think it actually belonged to the county back then. So for a while,
you're right.
Yeah.
There was because they had this complicated list of places you could park back in the day.
Yeah, it was like 5 places.
Yeah, it was. You could park between these streets and these streets and these streets and these streets, and they'd say like, but get here early because if it fills up and you have to pay, we won't be responsible for that.
No, they got a garage now, and honestly, like the last time I did it, I actually Ubered down there. That was a great idea.
Oh shit!
So,
how'd you get back?
My wife actually took me back.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
She
just hung out for a while.
By the time I got booted out, she was already done with her shit for the day. So she was like, "Yeah, I'll come get you."
Oh, okay.
We went out for lunch.
That's great. Did you get one of those expensive little pizzas?
No, I know where you get those.
So Little pizza.
Little pizza for
$26.
$26 for half a Totino's.
There are that many sausage crumbles on here.
Right, yeah. It's like you see giant basil leaves on it, though.
Because that's worth an extra
I
16
know.
bucks.
Right.
Dude, I'm going to tell you. All right, so the crazy inflation for me was so last time a few days ago I was at the grocery store, right? And as I'm walking through, I'm in that last spot, coming back out, and you're walking past the frozen food section. Go to the Safeway over here because it's the last stop. You go right to left, and then you circle back to go back to the register, right? So passing the frozen fruits, and it's like there's just something calling to me. I'm like, you know what I've not had in a long time? I haven't had a frozen pizza in a long time. You usually mention like Totino's. Like I haven't had one.
Yeah, get me a Red Baron. Yep.
That's what I'm talking
For
about.
like $20. Oh, I don't
How
know.
much?
I'm gonna guess it's $12.
For a Red Baron,
Yeah, for a Red Baron.
7.
$8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
$8 for a Red Baron is not value.
You see, you got to check the Totino's, the party pizza.
No, you scrub toilets with Totino's. You
I
don't
know,
put
but
that
it's a
in your
good
mouth.
baseline measure. They used to be $1. So,
They're like $2.50.
see, inflation.
My apologies. I wouldn't even look at it.
I get my pizzas
love
from
those
those
things.
places when they're on sale, and they just take them and put them in the fridge.
No, I
So I
understand
got
that.
Red
But
Barons at $3.
at $3, look, $3 would be fantastic, right? And I'd buy 5 of them to get that deal. But when I walked by and I saw like $8 for a Red Baron and like $12 for a DiGiorno,
DiGiorno's
and
expensive.
DiGiorno can kiss my ass for
I totally go with the Totino's over there.
I'm sorry. It's like yeah, that bread rises and that crust rises, but that doesn't mean it tastes good.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I haven't gotten
that's-
DiGiorno.
Yeah, no.
It's been so long.
It's just not good.
I haven't had frozen pizza in a while.
That's why I was calling my name, and I
Might
looked
need
at
to
it
get
like
the party pack.
instead for $8, dude. I'm gonna walk on by.
Well, because a couple bucks more, you can go get a fresh pizza.
Correct.
Man, like last few times ordering pizza, man, this is like a $40 run.
Was
Yeah.
When you get it delivered.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Because they hit you with tip and delivery fee.
But the delivery fee is like $3. So so maybe it is like down at $37.
How many toppings are you doing on your pizza?
Like enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not doing the one topping carry-out special.
No. So this isn't a hot and ready.
'Cause I go to Papa John's and I get 2
Okay.
pizzas and I come back for $20 with 2 large pizzas.
Okay.
$20 for $2 pizza. That's a good deal.
That's a good deal.
So for when the kids stay over, I go get 2 pizzas, and then McDonald's has a deal on like 40 chicken nuggets. So I go swing.
You can get 40 nuggies at once?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
And so I'll
I'm
come
not going
home
to eat that
with
many nuggies, though.
You know what they say
pizzas and some
when
a
you
whole
order
bunch of
40
nuggets.
chicken nuggies?
Right.
You got kids.
They say, I'm going to need you to pull around to the spot.
That's why you order on the app ahead of time. You click the button that says
That's
"I am
true.
here," and then when you show up, it's sitting right there.
Yeah, you go to the drive-thru, and the first thing they ask you is like, "Are you going to use the app today?"
Yep.
And when you say, "I wouldn't dare,"
Well, then now they just know that you're not a DoorDash guy. So, come
I
on.
just say no,
Yeah, I just say.
but
no
actually
thanks.
now I just pull up and I'll put it in the app because then I get rewards.
I have done that on my Taco Bell the last couple times. It's pretty
Well,
convenient.
rewards, discounts, some other stuff. Yeah, it's all good.
hey, no, that's fine. That's fine. But
Look
also,
at bastard.
Why do I want to save
Fucking
money?
coupons are.
but I'm also here's the thing: is I'm not going to use the app to go to McDonald's at 12:30 at night. That's the thing: is I expect to be the only person in the drive-up, and most of the time I am. So it's totally okay. And most of the time, even then, they do have a couple of McNuggies over there in the little plastic tray. They've got 10 that I can have.
Yeah, but you can literally have whatever exactly you want ready for you. You just place it right here, hit the "I am here" button, drive over, and the ding.
I don't want to punch the shit in. I want to look at the menu. I want to make my decision in the car when I look at the thing. I don't want to fuck around with the stupid app. I just want to drive up like I used to, order, have them give me food. I don't want them to ask me about the app. Okay? It's the same thing. I don't want to go to a store and they say, like, are you a rewards member? It's like, no. No, I'm not going to be.
Man,
Never
how
gonna be.
Grouchy are you going to be when you're 70?
Oh my God.
Listen, if I'm still alive at 69, I will be smoking regular cigarettes.
I mean, yeah, you're ready to get off my lawn, guy. You don't even
Not
have
a
a
get,
lawn.
not a get off my lawn guy. That's
Get
just
off my rocks.
Those are my rocks. Only my dog can step on my rocks.
Yeah. If you touch my leaves.
no. There's
I was just going to clean them, sir. Get out of here.
no. You have free reign to do all that stuff. However, what you cannot do is throw shit over the fence, leave the gate open so that my dog gets out. You do that 5 times, now I have to put an actual lock on the gate, right?
And then you're going to get a Kevin foot through your fence board.
Hasn't happened this point.
Oh, yeah, you weren't there for that one.
Oh.
We had a ball go over the neighbor's fence.
Oh, was that here in the
It
backyard?
wasn't this.
Oh.
It wasn't our house.
No, it was in Jimmy's yard.
Oh, okay.
And he went to try and climb it and
Yeah,
right
okay.
through the
I have
board.
heard this story. Yeah.
And then he doesn't speak English.
Right.
No hablo English.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you speak it, motherfucker?
I wouldn't give a shit if they hadn't kept leaving the gate open. After that, there comes a point where, I mean, fuck you guys.
Who was leaving the gate open?
The fucking neighbors.
Your side one or the
Yeah.
back one?
The side
Oh, the
one.
side one. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
See, I would just get a spring. It just closes. But I get it. I get
It's
it. I
somebody
get it.
else's
I
yard,
get it.
man. I don't give a fuck.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, you do close the gate when you leave.
You should.
Yeah, you should.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I don't know is if they closed it and it didn't latch.
It
Like,
doesn't matter.
You check. Yeah.
Kids.
Come on.
Kids
Come on.
don't.
You jiggle
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, exactly. But
I get it.
if you're the kids that close it and it's fine, we don't have a problem. If you're the assholes that close it, it's like whatever, right? Now we have a problem.
Right.
Now it's like, you know what? Fuck you guys.
I get
Fuck
it.
all y'all.
I don't blame you.
No, you're kind of blaming me.
No, I get it.
You're kind of blaming it, and I don't
just
like
said
it.
I would have gotten a
I
spring
don't like it.
because I'd rather that than have them climbing over my fence.
Well, nobody's climbed over it.
Because you watch.
I would know. She would know.
Oh, that's true.
No.
You're kidding me.
You sleep during the middle of the day.
Dude, a mouse farts across the street. And
How
she
many
flies
balls
out of
have you
bed.
found in your backyard?
None.
They probably just don't throw them anymore.
Yeah, they do it out front.
They do it out front.
Yeah, they do it out in the street now.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Problem solved.
Now, what I can say is so in wintertime, I have noticed that when the leaves fall off the weed tree in the front yard, like a frisbee fell out of it.
You eat a kite.
The weed tree?
Yeah, I thought it was a real tree. I think it's just a weed that
The
grew.
middle thing?
Yeah.
It looks like
It looks like the tree that used to be there.
Yeah.
It has like those little leaves.
Before you turn it into a mutant with poison. It did happen.
Maybe that's why it has all those spikes, and that's why I try
to
to.
defend itself.
no, but that kind of
It's not
tree.
supposed to happen in one generation.
That
though.
kind of tree does have spikes.
Does it?
Yeah, I had that up in London.
Oh.
All right. Well, I want it gone too, because I mean, you cut one down, it grew back. I was like, oh, that's pretty, but it grew fast, and they're little. Yeah,
A spiky weed tree. I like it.
it's what I thought it was. It's like because I was thinking, there's no other kind of thing that grows that fast.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting. Maybe that's why they want me to replace my tree, because it won't ever become a full tree.
Wow.
Why's that?
Because
Why won't your tree become a full tree?
it's one of the suckers that comes up.
Oh,
What are the suckers?
yeah, that's what
That's
they.
what they're called.
Yeah, that's what they're called. when you have any kind of like superstructure tree, like aspen trees, they're all connected underground.
This is like your real trees, they'll have little growth branches. Supposedly that's it dying, and that's its way of trying to live.
Yeah,
really?
It's because the main trunk is dying, and so
and those are called suckers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. So you're supposed to trim those off so that it keeps the main tree trying to live.
Yeah. So what tree is it coming off of? You have a different one in your yard?
Tree.
Oh, it's dead.
The main tree died.
Yeah, no, that one will never grow.
But it's taller than me. But it's not thick enough to make
your HOA.
Each inch and a half required.
Your Einstein's group in HOA. Yeah.
Right.
So we'll see if one of these years I get a fine.
I wonder.
You register this tree?
So that's a good point. Like, if you, let's say, for example, in the HOA, right? If your house number had like a 5-5 in it, and if you put lightning bolts, do you think they'd?
Mine would, because mine's very chill. So his would probably like approved.
Oh.
I'm missing that one. But
the SS bolt, like 2 5.5s. So this used to be a thing in Call of Duty. So yeah.
Yeah, they're just okay. So if a 5, all right, if it's vaguely like this, you can make a 5 with a little lightning bolt. Right?
Oh.
This a 5 also looks like an S.
Okay. All right. I guess I can see it.
So if
you can also do it with 7s if you put them in the right spot.
I did see. I will say this. I was gonna text you this because I was laughing pretty hard, but I did see a photo of a fighter that had a diagonal window as a tattoo.
Yeah.
And it was pretty clear to me that I don't think that started as a window.
Probably not. Yeah. So, was this an American fighter?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting.
But I do think he had that touched up.
The Windows? Yeah.
Yes.
The Windows logo does not normally appear on the outside of your MiG-29.
Right, especially when it's not straight. When it's a diamond shape.
Right.
Yes.
This is pretty sus. Yeah.
But that being said, he has had a change of heart.
Who?
Whoever decided to alter its original design.
Oh, right, yeah.
Into...
Either that or his boss caught him.
Well, well, he was a fighter, so I mean, there's
Want to go on TV?
What
That
kind,
won't fly.
like a jet fighter or
no. This was a man,
like a guy.
like
oh,
a
okay.
UFC
Oh,
fighter.
okay. Got it. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, he definitely spent some time in prison. That's what you do. So they turn into Windows tattoos after you get out of prison. Yeah.
I can't guarantee that he got that. It was pretty thick. It was pretty professional looking.
They do amazing work. So in prisons, you'd be surprised. So
I would be. Most of the ones I've seen are fucking hot trash.
Yeah, well, I mean, not every prison has that guy in it. Not every gang within that prison has that guy in it.
No, I'm aware of that.
Because you got to get tatted up by your own team, man. You got to team up. You got to group up.
I know, but there's something to be said. Like, get a ruler.
Okay.
Well, straight lines, that sort of thing.
It's not like you get to do this under daylight, in perfect conditions. So, yeah, sure. So,
Yeah, you tell that to his face.
What, the guy
Either
giving
one.
or getting the tattoo?
Either one.
I mean, can't you just say no? You say, like, actually, I don't want this.
Mm.
I don't think you have to get tattoos there.
He's the prisoner.
I think you do, yeah. So, judging by the individuals who have spent time in such facilities that I've known.
Now, are you talking about for the things that, like, we would go to jail for?
Like, what would that be?
Like
white collar jail,
like
Tax
accidental
evasion.
embezzlement or something like this.
Actually, I hear that federal prison is worse than like state prisons. So, unless you're going to like some country club prison. So, but like if you're going to like Harvey Weinstein was out the other day. Did you see him squealing about like the hellhole that is fucking Rikers?
Yeah, you know what he did, and so did Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. So, but I mean, then they turn around and go to like, federal prison. If you go to like, any kind of security, like as long as it's not a minimum security facility, which are like camps more so than anything else,
Right.
it's pretty fucking rough, dude. So, because they rotate guys around all the time. So, and you've got like, I mean, that's where your cartel guys go, because they do interstate crime, So it's like, I hear federal prison is no joke. So that, like, depending on what state you're in, state prison's actually pretty cheap, pretty cake. Now, there's some exceptions to that. Apparently, California is a fucking hellhole. So to go to prison in. Texas is supposedly ain't that bad.
And minimum security in the United States is evidently maximum security in like Norway.
Yes. The one that's really funny is Germany. So, I mean, it's like a hotel room. So
I watched one specifically about Northern Europe, and you go in there, and it looks like, first off, it looks like a ninth grader's bedroom. When you go in there and like it has all the nice furniture and the desks and everything set up, and then the wallpaper has like baseball and like
it says football.
I shit you not, it looked like a upper middle class child.
It looks like a dorm
bedroom.
Yeah, it looks like a dorm room. So, I mean, you've seen army barracks that look worse than
considerably. Yeah.
So, who knows?
I would have never guessed.
All right, so a lot of Northern Europe places are saying that they need to reform their prisons because now they have people
wanting to go.
No. Oh. I get what you're saying, but it's not like that because what they did, some of them, not all of them, but some of them felt kind of progressive. And so what they did was they said, we're not going to be as homogeneous a population anymore.
Oh, no.
And so when they started letting in people from other countries who don't have ninth grade bedroom prisons, it did nothing to reduce crime.
Okay.
At all. And so those actual homogeneous, populations got racist real fast. At first they were super progressive, and then they started saying things get turned to shit.
Okay. The most racist place you can possibly go to on the face of the planet is a prison. So it's just...
I don't think there's any avoiding it.
There's no avoiding it. I mean, even if you go into like very homogenous countries, like you go into South American countries, you still break into gangs.
Right.
They're based upon region. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's a thing.
Tribes.
Yeah.
Yep. Anytime that you take human beings and then put them under a stressful situation, they're going to subdivide to...
Well, they'll group up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Which is why libertarianism is a bad idea. They're eventually going to come for your guns, Jeff.
Dude, it is that horseshoe. Libertarianism and communism are both two things where you say, like, all right, so if we can agree that we just won't do these things, these are perfect.
Right.
But on day one, people do those things. What is
human nature?
What is there's a great quote where it's well, even amongst servants, someone has to be in charge, and there goes the communism thing where it's like, so we're all equals, right? It's like, yeah, but. So what?
You write the schedule, man.
Somebody had to do it.
But somebody's got to be in charge, right? Like, okay, well, since I'm in charge, I'm gonna have the guns and the ammo.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They said, well, the army's deserting anyway, so you can have it.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let me take the army.
You sure about that? It's like, it'll be
it's a big responsibility. You'll be busy.
Right? Oh, dude. Have I missed anything like good during the week? I feel like news actually slowed down a little bit after you and I caught up on Wednesday.
No, I didn't really see all that much, man.
Yeah.
No. Tariffs, I guess. We'll see if that lasts.
Yeah.
We'll
Canada's pissed. They're like booing our national anthem.
You go on Twitter, you find just so many Canadians who are like, yeah, sign us up. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's just, he's just doing his thing, man.
Right.
So he's going to try and go Colombia these guys now. So, yeah.
There's this little game of chicken going on right now.
Do you think prices are going to go up for a little while?
Probably just because some people try and jack up price. Like, prices are up on certain things anyway. Like, they're up on eggs because fucking bird flu.
Right,
so,
right.
Which, like, everybody's kind of like, yeah, I get that. You know?
Not the Democrats.
Oh my god, the fucking the tweets. It's like, well, it's been a week, dude. I thought eggs were supposed to come down. I was like, well, Joe, like, the lever to lower like egg prices in the White House is broken. The replacement will come in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Hang tight.
Yeah. I doubt they make it another 24 to 48 hours. So maybe, I don't know. So we'll see. I mean, like, Canada's not that big of a deal. So
No.
they were saying,
I heard you guys make fun of Canada.
well, yeah, we kind of make fun of Canada.
How little they contribute.
To NATO? Yeah, that's. I had to go back and look that up because I was like, "Ooh, maybe I undercut that one." I was like, dead on.
I was saying, I was so surprised.
I could not believe how long
Denmark was actually higher than they were. So,
I could not believe how long. Like, I was saying Canada. I was like, Canada, Jeff. Say Canada. Say Canada.
I didn't think that Canada would.
And you're just like, Norway. This one. I'm like, Canada.
It wouldn't sink into me. It just didn't seem. There's
Path like north, closer north, like touching us
that way north. Yeah.
It was funny.
Look, I was genuinely surprised. Because I mean that's a weird thing. It's like if you have some dudes at the table, they're right next to each other, right? And you got a burger, I got a burger, right? And we're not going to split the bill. And for years, I've been tipping like $15, right?
You've been right. Thanks, eh?
I just expected that based on proximity, like how we do things here, right?
No, like, so Canada, I dug into it a little bit. So after the Cold War, Canada was like, they did like 10 years of like heavy duty UN service peacekeeping roles and stuff like that.
Oh.
And then they got into like, there was something that happened where it was like an international incident. I can't even remember exactly.
Would this be in the 70s?
No, this was like the 90s. Yeah, this was like Kosovo.
Okay, never mind, yeah.
And then
they peed in someone's sandbox and they were told to never come back.
No, it was something like a bunch of Canadian dudes lit up a bunch of dudes that, like, because Canadians will go ape shit if you put them in a war. So they've done that many. They had their own beach on D-Day. So, yeah, and that's because we were kind of like, yeah.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you take these guys, not a ton of them.
Take these guys.
Put them in a box and shake them up.
Yeah.
And then just let them
just let go on the beach.
They're like wasps.
Wasps, yeah. So, but anyway, something happened, they got like into some things, and then so their defense spending got slashed, like deep slashed. Like they have a tiny air force. I looked it up. They have like technically on paper they got like 4 army divisions, but none of them actually exist. So they're just administrative structures with a couple, combat battalions here and there.
Do they have a reserve?
They say they have a reserve, but I couldn't find that much on it. So, I mean, like it's like one of those things like the NYPD is bigger than you guys, kind of thing. So, yeah, and it's like, all right, I mean, they still spend a bit, and they have like some capabilities, but there's no way they could actually put together a force to go over and fight in Europe or something,
right,
without like raising spending a lot. So,
and if you're not contributing dudes, then you should be contributing
monies,
books.
yeah,
right.
So
or Greenland.
That doesn't belong to Canada. So
It doesn't?
no, that's Denmark. So that's why they're yeah.
Oh.
And I'm convinced that he's just like spooking them to get them to actually up their NATO commitment too. So it's like, well, if you're not going to pay to defend it, give it to us. So yeah,
That's bike theory. It's just
it is totally bike theory. Yeah.
So you didn't lock it up, which means you don't want it.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he's doing. So, but I mean, we already have more military presence in Denmark than in Greenland than they do. So I mean, we have an Air Force base there.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's Thule. So
Yeah, there's some truth in this. Like, if you're not going to eat that, I will.
well, what the fuck are we gonna do with it?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's.
I don't even think Greenland is really all that resource rich, to tell you the truth.
I bet you.
I hear it is, but it's still under a mile of fucking ice. So
Right.
it's like, great, all right. So, I mean, they've got enough lithium in California now, or Nevada. We don't need, I don't know.
You want to get that out of Nevada, not California.
Yeah, so not Greenland. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, get it out of Nevada, not California. If you have to get it out of California, it'll be like 12 years while your permitting comes into place.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. So, I don't know.
I've heard it is a fucking like from when
California's changing, man. So, I mean, we'll have to see. It's going to take an election cycle.
So when the rich people's houses burn down,
Yes.
shit changes.
It changes. Yeah.
Because that's when people are like, wait a second.
What the?
So let me go ahead and bring you some documentation. So
Yeah.
what's this? Like, these are tax forms, right? So this is what I paid for. Okay.
Right.
And I pay for all these things
Right.
because I expect better things for me and mine than them.
Yeah.
And when I don't get that, then I get upset.
Yeah.
And those people just got torched. Those
It's
people
not even
just
the rich
got...
people, man. I mean, Altadena is a black neighborhood. It burned down. They already had developers coming in there. It's like saying, "Hey, we're going to build a multi-story," and they're like, "The fuck you are!"
There's that.
It's like, I might not have a house anymore, but that piece of land is mine.
Well, no, there were celebrities and people like that had their shit get torched too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that being said, if you don't take care of those people got. That's exactly when the LA riot stopped. Is when they started getting to the rich neighborhoods.
Yeah.
The cops came in full force.
Yeah. Well, and Marine Corps. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. And the rooftop Koreans, but those guys.
those different neighborhoods.
But their buildings didn't get burned.
Right. It's like a subspecies.
In some ways, I think we're all sort of rooftop Koreans if we're pushed far enough.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. I think well, actually, no, because there's a lot of people that took that attitude of like, the insurance will pay for it, and these guys are like, no, they won't.
No. Yeah. No.
That they don't. I don't have to do that paperwork if my building doesn't burn down.
Yeah.
Right.
Something tells me your policy is probably not fully covered.
No, I'll tell you, given, I just have to break it down based off those attitudes that they had at that time. I think some of those rooftop Koreans were like, I've been waiting to shoot these kind of people for a long time. I'm not lying. They had very ugly relations for quite some time.
Well, yeah, they were the new neighborhood Jews. So yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I did hear that though about Korea. Speaking of Koreans, so I heard that Kim Jong-un asked for his dudes back.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we'll see if that's actually true. So
will they be given a hero's welcome?
apparently he's not too happy with the fact that he's basically just been meat grinding them. So Kim Jong-un might have actually given him some of his good dudes. Yeah, not realizing that he wasn't going to give them back.
maybe that's the lawsuit. You said borrow.
Right. Yeah. You said tour of duty.
You said equal or better shape than I gave it to you. And I understand that Putin probably is like, Well, you borrow a box of like corn pops. You don't get all corn pops back. It's food.
Right, yeah. Borrow troops, yeah. Don't get all troops back. Yeah.
So maybe it was just a cultural misunderstanding.
It might have been.
It's possible.
So, I don't know. We'll see if that's true, though. I just heard that yesterday. So
I still have so Zelensky was on saying that he had not. He's like, where's the other 100 million of this? So this is the aid that was supposed to come first. We can't account for the rest of this.
of the 100 million,
Something like that. He's like from us.
Oh, it's not very much, but I know.
For us, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say million?
Yeah.
A billion.
You said 100.
You said 100 million.
My apologies.
100
I believe it
100
was.
billion? We've only sent 165 and he lost 100 of it?
Said that,
I don't think
that-
that's
he said,
true.
no, he said that it was like 175. He's like, we know where like 75 is. The other 100 we can't account for.
175 billion?
That's what he said.
We haven't even sent that much cash. So I'll have to go look at
cash.
that. Yeah.
Not cash. He's talking about stuff.
Oh, it's broke. It's blown up out there in the field, man.
He said can't account for it.
That I believe.
It's like we didn't get that much.
Oh,
Maybe on paper y'all sent that much, but we didn't get that much.
that might be true. It might be in the pipeline. So I have no idea. All I know is that, it was General Kellogg the other day came out and said, yeah, so we were going to say 24 hours. Now we're going to say 100 days. Now we're going to say 6 months. Yeah. So the other dude ain't picking up the phone, man. I don't think he's gonna.
I was watching this thing about drone warfare, and you were talking about how the world is basically watching how people have been dealing with drones and whether or not this will be the future of things. They're saying that the most effective tool against it right now is shotguns.
I've heard that. Yeah.
I watched a video about it. It said there's some problems with it.
You still get close.
They still get close, and if you're not prepared for them, you only have like 2 seconds to deal with a kamikaze one. But they say that they're kind of effective, and they're looking for ways to actually make more and better anti-drone shotguns.
So I've seen that, and then the latest thing that they've been doing is they take other drones and mount like tubes on the bottom of them that have shotgun shells in them.
That makes perfect
sense. And they
sense.
just use them as like little mini fighters, to go after other drones. So the problem is like some of the drones, they're so small that you actually need, pretty sensitive like radars or things like that in order to be able to see them. But one of the things that they're finding that works is just like simple like ring motion cam detection things. Yeah, so it's always like every month there's something new, that guys are thinking of. So it's crazy.
Well, the thing that they were talking about was it wasn't just the ring motion cams. They also said it had to do with microphones. Was directional mics in the air. Was the problem with like the 50 meters thing when you can see it? Well, not just see it, but that's when you can hear it. And so they're kind of lightweight. So they said, well, if they have better microphones, they can hear them from a greater distance, right? Because they're listening in the sky for these things. They're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. It's like, well, you got something coming in. It's like, all right, well, guys, go ahead and get your
grab your shotguns,
Winchesters ready, or I think they
grab
were
your scatter gun.
right. Get your blunderbusses ready or whatever. Because if you think about that too, if you're gonna go by that logic, there are things out there that can put spread in the air like that better than just shotguns. There are tools that can do that for you. Like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm not as afraid of like drone combat in the future. Maybe it won't be as effective.
There's always going to be a countermeasure.
Yeah, I mean they'll come up with something. I mean, the other thing is that like there's still some severe like I've seen these pictures on Telegram of like this forest in Kursk region, which the Ukrainians are still hanging on to a piece of that. They still have a little piece of Russia. They're not giving it back. So, but they show this picture of this forest with these like shattered trees in it. but then there's this shit that looks like spider webs all over it.
Oh,
And that's the fucking fiber optic cable that they've been using on tethered drones. So, because they use like radio frequency, especially if you're in the middle of nowhere, there's not much Wi-Fi, and stuff like that. You can't mount a Starlink on one of these fucking things, so, you have to go off Wi-Fi or cell phone coverage and stuff like that. Or you can tether it. So,
Right.
And so they've just been doing that lately. And, but then they were also showing that like at night, that fiber optic cable retains a lot of like heat during the day. And so it acts almost like a camouflage shield. And so the dude's riding underneath. It's fucking crazy, dude. And the other thing that they do, and I didn't really know this, is they all operate in small units. So they're not operating, like anything remotely battalion sized. So, which is like the smallest operational unit in the fucking Marine Corps. So, but they operate in like squads of like 5 to 12 dudes.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. So, yeah, it's awful. So,
it's expensive too.
it is expensive. So, well, the drones are getting cheaper. They're getting a lot cheaper.
They are, but I mean, anytime that you're putting people together, this is, we talked about this the other day when it came to like certain industries getting more expensive. And I was thinking specifically we were talking about animation, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about the old days, about how many actual hand drawing animators we used to have in the United States working on a project.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds doing actual art. And I was trying to even think about how would that even be possible today in the United States? Like if we were actually doing like that seems like it would just be burning through cash. Like
you
nobody's
just use
business.
art students. You just find people who are cheap can do it. So
well, yeah, but I mean these
I can draw up a couple hundred art students. So
you could
sure.
At your school?
No, but amongst other schools, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
you could find
you
that.
know it personally?
Me personally, no. I would know where to work. Yeah, you can go on Fiverr. They're not all in the United States.
So many artists on there that want to be artists.
I know there are.
Yeah, but those guys are getting outsourced too.
Oh yeah, AI's got them. I mean,
I have been seeing more and more what stuff is capable of.
It's
crazy.
Is
incredible.
I've been using it to colorize black and white photos. It does an amazing fucking job.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
It's just like one button, and that's like the program that I have is like colorize. It's like okay, it's like oh my god, that's beautiful.
And it never just goes wonky and
no, the guys don't have pink hands and shit.
Like,
so
maybe on the surface of fucking Venus.
Right, yeah, exactly. No. The sky is orange. No, man, it actually worked really, really fucking good. And the funny thing is, like for years, you could buy colorized prints of old photos, and they were expensive as fuck. And they all have the photo stock, thing on it. And I'm like, you guys aren't gonna make any money.
Did you? Did you see the thing I sent you about? Deep Sync.
The Chinese thinky whale.
Yeah. That was a legit thing. When somebody asked it about China, and it started to answer the question, and then it said like,
deleted it off.
It
yeah. So I've seen some of those that I think are real, and I've seen some that are definitively fake. Just because they're funny. So where it's like, dude, get off my ass. You can't ask me that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, you wrote that. So, but anyway. I was kind of expecting the China guys to jump on it a little bit, and one of them did.
But there's other stuff going on in China. They were focusing on like explosions.
I didn't watch it.
No,
so maybe I'll watch it later tonight, but I have no idea. But like a few of the people, like, so my Twitter / YouTube verse was like split on this because they got all these military guys, and they're like,
Right.
this is like, oh my god, it's the next threat to America, rawr, kind of thing. So
Sure.
it's going to make everything obsolete.
And then it got hacked. Like
What?
Dark Sea.
AI?
Yeah, their whole database got hacked.
Did it?
What?
See,
When?
yeah, but William's a cyber guy.
Like 2 days after it was released.
What would you hack it for?
I don't know. I didn't.
I thought it was
go
built
too
on
deep
open source. So
But it's also storing all that information.
Oh, okay.
So somebody hacked it and was able to just go in there and
Okay. And find out how many people were asking about Tiananmen Square.
I presume that they were also able to see like the training data as well. So.
Probably, yeah, everything.
Did anything interesting come out of that? Did they?
I didn't see a whole lot. I just saw the blurb that it was.
I heard that the training data was basically ripped off from France. So
That wouldn't surprise me.
well, France had like another one called Midol or something like that that they were working on last year.
Midol, the period medicine.
No, I don't know. I think it was. I think that's what it was. So I'm sure that comes from France too, Jeff. So, I thought that was a sleeping pill.
No,
okay.
It's
that was not Midol helps you get your Z's.
That's NyQuil.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
No, Midol is basically the aspirin that's marketed towards women on their period.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never had to take that, so.
I was asked to buy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So go to the store and get me this stuff.
please. Yeah.
No, I think it was the last time I took a direct order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it was like it's something like that. But they said that basically the training data was open source,
Yeah.
and so the Chinese took open source training data to build this thing. All right, which is why it will answer Tiananmen Square until it catches it. So I don't know. So
I mean, that makes sense because if it's just basically like a layer on top of that, which is what I suspect it is, and what a lot of people are, because again, it's like, yeah, this isn't your work. This is
you just change the name and the date. You know?
And I get from their perspective, like, if you're thinking about it like that, if that's your approach and you're saying like, why is this so hard for you guys? We figured this out like 5 minutes. Like, yeah, you did. You copied my homework. You wrote your fucking name on it, right? And you didn't just erase my name. You drew a line through it.
This was in PDF.
Right. And drew a Chinese whale over it, right?
Right.
It said like, this is ours now. I'm like, it stinks. What do we say? It stinks of effery. It absolutely
It stinks
does.
of effery.
It reeks.
It really does. So yeah, and that's the other half of my YouTube was all like, oh, look at China. So, you know, we're so fucking back. This is the America Bad crowd that I listen to. So
You have to listen to it.
you have to listen
Because
to
they are right sometimes.
Well, yeah, and I mean they do wander around out there. I mean, you never know. Like they might get lost. So
And you never, they may actually come up with something super neat, but frankly, most of this stuff is like, you guys are. Why would I think that of all the things that you have in terms of like, you remember the Bendy Bus debacle where they're like, these guys are from the future. I'm like, they are. They have those in Boston.
yeah, I know.
Nobody likes them.
Nobody likes them. The articulated buses.
Yes.
I'm sorry, land train, road train. Yeah.
For exactly 2 days, people are like, these guys are like, they're from the future. Like, they're from the fucking like past. Like, people don't like these. But yeah, it's the same thing. When they're talking about look at these advancements, their trains go right through the buildings. So like, we've thought about it. You don't live in those buildings because the train goes through it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not the
Yeah,
future.
I have seen a couple of those videos where like this is the most amazing thing ever. I'm like,
Yes.
that looks ghetto as fuck. This is somebody who didn't turn clipping on. You know?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. No.
I saw one picture where it showed a picture of a 5-fingered hand, and it says, "What's wrong with this hand?" And the AI response is, "This looks like to be a normal 5-fingered hand. The coloration is fine. There doesn't appear to be any rashes or any of these kind of things. By all means, everything looks like it's a normal hand." It's like AI is now just programmed itself to recognize 5-fingered hands. Like,
yeah.
Right.
this is its own algorithm now because this is what it creates.
Hey, dude, I mean, if you're out there and you have to train this stuff and say, like, what's wrong with this? Like, well, yeah, like 9 extra digits, and the last fingers look like spaghetti.
Right. Yeah.
You know? Wait, it's,
I don't like drawing fingers either, so
it's harder than it looks.
it's really hard.
That's the thing is the hand is weird. The hand,
Those that can do it well, I can I tip my cap so much to them because they make it look so easy.
My daughter's got one of them practice ones. It's like plastic, and you self-join it.
It helps, but there's something to the tune of like, so you can look at a regular hand, you can draw the hand out right, you can know all the parts of it, and there is something just to the tune of the way that it translates into drawing it just is not equivalent. Like there's just like a little disconnect between reality and art. That just there's a little bit of mystery to it that is everybody struggles with it.
My daughter's going through it right now.
Yeah.
First, all of her characters had their hands behind their back.
Right.
Else like
Right.
that. But now she's actually starting, even if they look a little mangled and stuff, she's starting to. Then they were kind of flippery,
Yeah, you
where
do
all the
shark
fingers
fin.
are
Right.
together. But now she's starting to have them spread out a little bit more and things like that. So I'm like, nope, you're doing great.
They're mittens for a while. Yeah.
This is the process. Nobody likes drawing hands.
Then you start drawing them all at the same angle. It's like, oh, okay, all right. So that's how you do that. All right. Then they don't take. Everything else will take into account perspective except for hands because you can always point them directly at the camera. Okay, all right, gotcha.
So, yep, I'm watching the whole struggle right now. Yeah, and it's tough, but
The worst thing is too is like, well, what's the advice you have? Like, draw 900 of these from every possible angle. Buy all of these books, right? Do all of the exercises.
and it still won't feel right.
It'll never feel right.
The finger's gonna look broken.
Well, what do I do then? So just ask the AI to do it. It's fine. It'll do it faster. It'll do a better job.
Yeah, the AI is quite good at it.
And it was weird too because somebody brought this up, and I didn't even consider it because you and I talked about the way that more things open up. They were calling out basically like the big businesses right now, and somebody said like, guys, just walk it back, 20 years. It's like Xerox, Kodak, IBM is like huge companies that seemed completely indestructible at that time. And at that moment, they had entire cottage industries built around their stuff. It's like, do you have any idea how much traditional photography crap is just gone now?
Oh, yeah.
It no longer exists. It's like AI will create cottage industries around it as new businesses come up and fall down. You don't know what they are, right? At some point, like, you would have never guessed that, like, what is that weird, like, 1 hour photo booth in the mall parking lot, right? We don't have that anymore, but it was a necessity at some point, and at some point, people had so many pictures that you would go to shit like that.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird, and so I've taken a much more positive view just because I don't know what it is.
I'm not worried about AI at all. So
People are panicked about this shit.
dude, people like, yeah, some people should be. If you're in game development, you should be fucking panicked. So if you do animation, if you do 3D modeling, if you do any kind of copy editing anymore. So I mean, that is getting absolutely murdered by AI. There's a lot of stuff out there that I could see being next. Actually, I was following a thread today. They were actually talking about using AI to actually like sort out like, a lot of these government inefficiencies. So, and it was just like, you know what? Yeah, actually AI probably could reissue my driver's license pretty easily.
Probably could. Yeah.
So, although the DMV is great, but it could do my taxes very quickly. So,
Well, do you remember when that Malaysian airliner disappeared?
yeah.
And they were calling on people to grab a chunk of the ocean.
Yep.
And look at the pictures. I feel like an AI could have looked that
Totally.
over.
Yeah, if it was around, because that's been like 15 years now, hasn't it?
Isn't that weird?
10 years at least? Yeah.
At least 10.
Because they were like they had people combing. You could sign up for a section of this, and they're just like, look out here. Look at this. Let us know if you see anything. Let us know if you see any papers floating in the water.
Yeah,
or
any
anything.
kind of debris.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to my knowledge, I don't think they've really found any debris from that, have they? I didn't think so.
That one it's like DB Cooper levels have just like disappeared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I think that, well, they found him eventually. So, are you sure about that? I thought
100%.
I thought that came out like a year and a half ago where they found a shitload of his money in the middle of the forest.
That's not him.
Well, no, I know, but the money.
They think so. They thought they found, but they think that it could also be part of the plant because they knew the serial numbers from it.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy, but he's never been found.
Right. Well, he's either on it. Well, he'd probably be dead by now. But yeah. Anyway, but that one the one that I saw on that was that like there's this entire stretch of ocean that like the Southern Ocean that rings Antarctica.
Oh.
There's not even satellites pointed at it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it's there, it's there.
There's nobody.
What are you gonna do?
There's nobody there.
Right.
So yeah. So.
I mean, it would be wild to get there and just see this ocean of shit that like you're finding all sorts of like crazy things.
Well, they
like,
might find it frozen someday if it went down that way. You never know.
Frozen, but I'm also talking about like 30-foot crabs and like
actual lizard people. Yeah.
So
they're cold-blooded. No shit. Yeah.
I think the big thing with AI though is that it's just so fast. So it's a
It is
lot
pretty fast.
harder to pivot like careers and stuff because you're just like your job's here and then like it's a blink of an eye and it's like
It can come for your lunch
crap,
pretty
it's
quick, man. But I mean, like some people have pointed out, like first of all, okay, it's a fancy calculator. Okay, so you got to think about it in terms of like, okay, it's super Google, it's mega Wikipedia, and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that it can do, but
you still need direction with it.
You still need direction with it, but there's a hard barrier between it and so many other things. Just because it's math. So I mean, yeah, maybe eventually someday they'll find out like they used to load it in blank robots. And then maybe it can cook you a meal, but that's not happening anytime soon. The same thing's true with like they said, like one of the big problems is like anything that involves fingers and eyes, so it just doesn't do that at all. And that's a lot of fucking jobs if you think about it. That's a lot of jobs. That's probably most jobs.
Well,
so
here's the thing. There are plenty of things that can do things that like an individual finger can do, right? Or grip or anything like that. Because when I know that I also there's it's not, I don't like dig ASMR or anything like that, but I do occasionally like somebody will post a video of check out the cool machinery here, yo, and you'll sit there and watch like, oh, this is how they make springs this big, and you watch the iron come out here.
Paperclip machines are fascinating.
Stuff like this. So and so they have tools. They have things that like, a finger used to do this, like, or two fingers.
Right.
But the machine does it, and you're like, okay, yes, but not when it comes to the same thing. They did the thing where they have the machine that does Rubik's cubes.
Right.
Right? Because it has the little things there. But yeah, anything like if it's not designed for that individual task, it doesn't adapt to it. It's not like it's not like you can take the Rubik's Cube machine and say like, "Can you peel this peach?"
Please perform my laser surgery.
Right. It's a little bit different. And I will say, like, having seen the advancement that they have in actual gripping and holding parts with artificial limbs is cool as shit.
It is really cool.
But there is still a little bit of like, I can even put my key in my door and turn it, but they do, and it's like
yeah.
Right?
It's got a ways to go.
It's like a 15-minute affair, but they can do it. Right?
Yeah.
I did write kind of a cool piece about how like the Neuralink stuff works. There's some future to that, but
it's a little ways.
Well, so in order for that to be like more effective than what they're doing, because it is really cool. When I looked at the technology behind it, I'm like, well, this is genius. In order for that to be more effective in the way that it works, because once you actually have that in there, you don't have to necessarily be part of the program. Your limbs don't have to do this. You could be, if you're within Wi-Fi range, you could have something else do this for you. But the number of connections that it has to have in your brain versus what it has now is like tenfold, 20-fold.
Well, they might get there.
So, oh, they will.
Yeah.
I mean, they are moving forward with it, but in the meantime, the complexities that we have in terms of what actually makes our body work, we take for granted because it is so more complex than it needs to be in some ways, but also just incredible. Like, biology is weird. I mean, you know this too. There are certain things where you're like, well, why aren't these things connected? Why is it here to here, then chemical to chemical, then it picks up here on the nerve, then it goes here. It's like, why does it have like a chemical transmitter instead of just being a straight line? Like, I don't know. In case it breaks.
That's probably it.
You
don't want one line to cut everything.
It's wild. But then you think about the things that can go wrong with it. Then you think about like so if these are out here, it has to be taken back in and then released so you can mess with these chemicals. And if you leave these out here, you're a psychopath. And
that's just one species.
This one, yeah. We're not talking about, so how does that chimp go from normal to like eating a face?
Exactly, 0 to 60. So,
right, because it's like, well, because he wasn't taking his, fucking chimpanzee Prozac or whatever. It's like, oh no.
You chew on bamboo today.
I
didn't even know that was a thing. My God.
That's wild. So,
Yeah, I mean, I know some people are going to be scared about AI, but you think about it just in terms of technology. Technology always destroys craftsmanship over the long run. So, it replaces it, because it opens it up to people who don't have the skills to be able to do those things,
That's true.
So, that's all it does. So there's still going to be plenty of work. There's going to be tons of industries that are associated with it. So, and then on top of the population shrinking, future work is not going to be a fucking problem. So there's going to be plenty of jobs.
Well, there's
like no fucking robot still going to lift your grandma out of bed.
So we're not going Wall-E.
No, we're not going Wall-E.
We all get fat.
No, we're not getting fat. We're not going to have some kind of like event, where, oh my God, the rich people lived here and everybody else lived over there and they nuked each other and all they left was a few robots and a cat. It's not going to be like that.
When it happens, Pixar will be right. Or
Pixar will never be right.
No,
They'll never be right. No.
Disney? No, that's
DreamWorks.
Disney. So that's got to be Pixar.
Yeah.
No, it's just like the thing that gets to me is when I see pictures of like old silverware or coins, and you look at coins and you're like, wow, they're all different.
Oh yeah, you go look at Roman coins. It's like that kind of looks like it, dude. I know this was the best you could do at the time.
Like silverware, I'm like, every fork is different, man. This is whack as shit.
You realize like everything back in the 1700s was jank as fuck.
It's like, can you fix my hedge clippers? Like, no, I can't because of this dude made it, and he's, just have him make it a new one. It'll be ready in 6 to 9 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he'll be ready for your grandchildren.
Just look at these whack ass coins. I'm like, it's not even round.
Yeah, it's kind of like
they just hammered it.
It looks like someone took a donut hole and smashed it down.
And you see it was like, why are these all like fucked up on the sides? Like, well, because people used to clip pieces off of these here, melt that, and make new, counterfeit coins with them. Like, you have got to be shitting me. It's like, nope. Yeah, that shit is hilarious. Like I don't, certain things, like I can't, people were probably panicking as soon as like interchangeable parts and like machining started happening too. It's like, oh, we're all gonna lose our jobs, man.
Well, it did. It's called Luddites, man. So, and it's a real thing. So
It is.
You know,
It is.
I don't know, man. I mean, again, it's just we were talking about that the other day. You got a chunk of the creative class that feels a little bit over entitled. So you know, you guys are not the fucking gatekeepers. Stop making shit movies. How about you write decent books? You know, like music. Is music even a thing anymore? So
Well, music is greater and more diverse and greater quality than it's ever been. But you have to, because there are less gatekeepers, because there is no one source of this, right? You have no dudes over there that are really like controlling what people put on through, right? It's as open access as it gets. I mean, this has been true. Like Justin Bieber was just a YouTube guy.
He was
like way
just a
back
YouTube
then.
guy,
He was just. He didn't get signed on by a label at first. He was just some dude singing songs on YouTube. It's 10 times that, right? In terms of like diversity, it's just you have to know what you want instead of the TV telling you what you want, right? And for some people, that's awful, right? That's why like Taylor Swift is like the last of these people, because it's like, I like her because other people like her. And I'm sorry, it's a logical fact. It has been for a long time. It's just the call to popularity, right? I mean, it's the same thing. You go to Best Buy, you're like, I need a router. It's like, yeah, or whatever. Yeah. Your router blows up. You need one now. You cannot wait till tomorrow. You need one now. You go there. You say, I don't know which router is good. Well, this one's the most popular. Well, then that's the one I'm going to buy.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right? That's all Taylor Swift is. She's just this average-looking white woman who sings inoffensive music. It's just popular. People listen to it.
Is she going to be the last great pop star? She's like mid-30s now, isn't she?
I think she's
probably.
I think she's.
I don't think she's
might
40.
be. I think she's in her late 30s. To tell you the truth,
I don't know.
She was popular when I was teaching high school.
Okay, so she might be late 30s. That's been a minute.
That was like when she was like 15.
15?
I don't think she ever started that young. I thought she was in her 20s when she got started.
Really?
I don't know. I'm not. I know nothing about this.
Well, she was no Britney Spears. She was a grown woman.
She was no Hannah Montana. Yeah.
All right.
Her songs were like she's 15.
Oh, they still are.
Right. Yeah, she's a grown-ass woman. She's still writing that same song.
Yeah.
There is no depth or complexity to this woman. Make no mistake.
No, it's ticket sales, man. It's all ticket sales. Yeah, she might be, man. I mean, you know, you just like there's not a like an eyeball on the music scene like there used to be 15, 20 years ago. And I'm watching that happen to movies. We're all watching that happen to movies right now, where it's just like, oh, okay, there's movies, got it. You know, it's not like, oh, did you go see blah blah blah? It's like, no.
Well, case in point, this movie I just watched called Anola. It's not bad. Yeah. It's not. It got 8 nominations for like Oscars, right? It has no actors that you'd recognize.
Nope. I can't even name most of them now. So you know, I mean, this whole thing with what is like Ryan Reynolds' wife
and Baldoni or something.
Who the fuck is that guy?
He was in the movie with his wife, but I have not clicked on it to actually read the story.
Okay, well,
what's her name again?
TMZ Truth keeps trying to make
Blake
Lively. There we go. She keeps trying to make this a big deal. I just don't fucking care.
I don't know exactly what happens. It keeps popping up across my thing, and I'm like,
wait, what's the problem in this?
I don't know. I didn't click on it.
Somehow, I don't know if Ryan Reynolds made. I have no idea, but somehow it's a big hoopla between. And Blake Lively and that Baldoni were in a movie that came out the same time as Deadpool Wolverine, and so I don't know if Ryan Reynolds pressured him into being in it or doing. I have no idea.
Oh,
but it just keeps coming up, and I refuse. I just have not ever been like, yeah, I want to read it.
Well, I didn't even know who Baldoni was.
I didn't until this kept coming up over and over again.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
whatever it is, I have no idea.
Yeah, not my business.
Not clicked the button.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, especially, we used to have this subdivision of like you're either in TV or you're in movies. And you're in TV because your movie career is over.
Right.
Right?
It did not take off.
Correct. It is very rare. So like once like Travolta got booted from like movies.
Ooh.
What TV show did he do?
What did he do? He was on
No.
Yeah, he was.
He was on a TV show?
He was on it. Yeah, you got to remember that he was basically cooked after.
He was cooked after Saturday Night Fever.
After Saturday Night Fever,
and he didn't get back into like movies until like Look Who's Talking.
I thought it was
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. I thought that was his comeback.
Look Who's Talking was before then, but just barely.
I believe
his
you.
real comeback, yes, was that because it wasn't a movie where he was voicing a fucking baby.
Oh yeah, that movie.
Right. My apologies.
Yeah.
So real comeback is where you're seeing his stupid face again. Yeah, that's really it. But I mean, I could swear he did like a couple of like little TV things, and then he got back into that here. Like Bruce Willis, like he jumped from TV to movies. He was on Moonlighting or not? No, it was something like that.
You're right.
Yeah, and then he did a couple other things. Yeah, so it used to be that, but because there's so little exposure, you know this guy, right? Nobody fucking knows who these people. Like nobody even knows.
I don't know anybody on TV right now.
Aside from one person from like Stranger Things, nobody knows the names of the rest of the people
on that show.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know their names. I recognize them.
You'd recognize them, but
I wouldn't recognize them anymore. Like that one kid got like 9 feet fucking tall and didn't put on any weight.
He's been in some stuff.
What's his name?
I don't know.
That's you can't find him.
Yeah.
Well, no, I would just Google Stranger Things and tell me the cast.
Tell me the cast. Link to that, and then there you go.
Because I call him, hey, that's the guy from Stranger Things.
It's Stranger Things.
Right. That's
hey,
true.
Get him, Die Hard.
Yeah. Tell him Office Space.
Tell him Office Space.
I still call him Office Space.
All right. All right.
Your lasagna was awesome.
Oh.
I didn't bring your dish back. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I will bring it back.
Okay.
It's not good.
All right.
What did I do with your dish?
Well, no. How was the lasagna? Out of the 3 iterations you've had.
I'll tell you, your first one was still my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I really did.
And that's the one that you thought messed up. This other one was good.
It was good.
I've had no problem with any. I would eat all 3 of these here. But your first one, it could have been just because, like, hey, surprise lasagna. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, here's the thing, I'll never turn you down either. You keep making these, I'll keep eating them.
Fair. Sounds good. Well, I'm glad it was appreciated.
That's great.
Cool.
That's great. I love food.
And that's how it is.
There we go.
I love food.
I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
Yeah.
Hitting the button.
He loves food.
He loves food.